The most points in any Timberwolves game scored, 23 threes. Mm-hmm. Is this exactly the night that the offense really needed to get going here?
Well, I mean, it's a night that when you make 2 out of every 3 shots, you're going to score a lot of points, particularly if a lot of them are threes. So I've just been really pleased with the quality of shots we've been able to generate over the last few games. And then that kind of sparks a rhythm, and guys can kind of feel where the shot may come from, and they're shooting with a lot of confidence. So yeah, we talked about getting up more threes, and we've been trying to do that. Tonight was obviously an exaggerated example of it. So.
You talked about the injuries and how that presents opportunities to some other guys to step up. How do you feel like Nate Knight has embraced that opportunity?
It's been great. Everybody's really stepped up. Nas stepped up into the role, then he goes down. Nate stepped up. Luka gave us great minutes, particularly in his second shift out there in the third. Everyone's really played well for us. Bryn, I thought, played well too. He's been playing well. So,
do you think Ant kind of being forced in a situation where he had to play make for others, I don't know, turned on a light where that can maybe be a more consistent thing moving forward?
Sometimes when he's been trapped a lot, or they've been up on him in pick and roll. It forces you to pass, forces you to see the floor, it forces you to change kind of your mindset about where your teammates are. I think he's doing a really good job of understanding where his teammates are early in the possession, and then puts pressure on the defense and can make the pass later. He's really filling up a stat sheet right now. Like the other night, he had 11 rebounds and 7 assists, and tonight's the opposite. But just doing it all.
Did it feel good to deliver a performance at home that fans could kind of have fun with throughout, given some of the other games that have happened here this year?
Yeah, for sure. We haven't played well at home. We just haven't. But we've played better at home the last few times we've played. Just again, this is one of the quirkiness of every team has its own idiosyncrasies. But we've said long, this is a great sports town. You got to give them a reason to come out and cheer for you, and I think we're doing a better job of that.
What did you like defensively in the fourth quarter that really seemed to kind of create that separation?
I thought we did a better job as the fourth quarter went on of defending without fouling as much. We started out a lot of little fouls and rebounding. We rebounded well.
Chris, it's kind of rare that a team has 5 big centers. How have you kind of approached that this season of like keeping them engaged? Because when guys have come in, it does seem like they've taken that opportunity.
Yeah, I think I said it pregame to. I think Nas is a great example of like just staying ready. He's played every role from the third 5 to the fourth 4 or whatever, to a starter to a couple DMPs at times. And he's just stayed ready. We have great flexibility in our roster. We felt that we had that, even throughout. Times when we had the more traditional big lineup, so we still have flexibility of just being able to get all those guys opportunity. But and then we were able to the depth helped right now. I mean, that's why you do it. So,
and then with D'Angelo, I mean, this past month the shooting is kind of the next level. He is one of those players who kind of goes in these bursts. Like as a coach, do you try and foster that happening, knowing that if he's hit a couple, he is one of those guys who can kind of blow up?
I mean, I try to to within reason try to ride the hot hand, leave guys in when they're in a groove. But he was just coming back from a couple of days out, and I unfortunately took him out right at the end of a couple of really good runs that he was having, and then it took us a little while to find our rhythm. Then Ant got going when D'Lo left the floor. So generally, I kind of try to leave that latitude to be able to do that. The single biggest key for D'Angelo and me is the shooting. Is just he's not thinking about it, just letting it fly. It's clean, it's quick. He's shooting with a ton of confidence. He's getting great looks. His dribble threes are good ones too, in a good rhythm. And that's the thing he's changed the most, less hesitancy.
You have Kat and Rudy are both players that need to be fed whenever they're on the court.
Yeah.
And Jaden and Kyle don't to some extent. The fact that you have guys in the backcourt that really can get their own without worrying about the way things are supposed to work. Do you think that helps both Ant and D'Lo right now? I mean, I know D'Lo has said earlier in the year feeding guys became a little bit too much of a preoccupation.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has helped them find the rhythm, the rhythm together, the rhythm individually. And, I thought from the beginning of the season, like you've heard me say, like the two bigs have, when they played together, they had their own rhythm. And the guards now have found a rhythm. And now the key is, when we all get back together and, we got to marry it up. But, and I think also we can learn some lessons with our spacing. We didn't come into the season intentionally trying to make Cat just a corner spacer, but I do believe we have to take way more advantage of his shooting and just maybe parking him in the corner a little bit more at times. But having said that, we fed Nate Knight and those guys rolling to the hoop all night long. So we got to be able to do it all. I think we got complementary skill sets out there that should allow us to take advantage of that, but